the employees at that point were probably told, don't fight it. Just like, what are you going to do at that point? I didn't even scan my ticket to get in because the entrance that I was at got bum rushed to the extent that I was sitting there with my ticket like, where do I scan this? And I just walked in because it was chaos. There was fights. I saw someone got like kicked in the face. I saw a guy with his kid and the kid's like sobbing, crying. It was legitimately horrifying for a good like 10-minute stretch getting in there.
So why was it that way? And I mentioned like the Bethune-Cookman perimeter that they established outside the stadium for Miami Hurricanes games. The Miami Hurricanes and the stadium operations people, they pay uniform personnel to be on the outside. CONMEBOL, for whatever reason, who's a governing body here in conjunction with CONCACAF, they take over lead when it comes to stadium ops. So pulling in, you don't have the uniform personnel outside establishing a perimeter, checking for parking vouchers to get into the stadium. To get into my parking lot, had to make a U-turn that was really not efficient at all, and I was left on my own on an island as a sea of people were moving from nearby places, being dropped off by Ubers. They were all on the street. So I'm getting waved at by stadium personnel who is now inside the gates, who usually is outside the gates, telling me to come in. And I'm asking how? How can I drive in there? There is right now, presently, as you're screaming at me, not doing it in a kind fashion, but I understand it's all crazy. There's presently 80 people around my car right now. You are telling me to drive through them without any uniform personnel guiding the way to come meet you there. Fine. Now, I'm an outlier because they checked my parking ticket and to see if I actually had tickets. Now, in front of me, there are fights, there's pushing, there's shoving, and once you start having two people pushing and shoving, it's a domino effect. More people push and shove. They crack open a door. You're hot. You got your family. You start making a run for it. You start pushing against. The entrance that I walked in was that entrance that you've seen on social media that got totally destroyed, the 72 Club entrance. That's where I walked in. I can absolutely see how that happened. I don't want to excuse the behavior of the people there, but I also think it was a byproduct of the entire setup. I've been out there for Miami FSU. Those people for Miami FSU, way more sauced up before the actual event starts than these people. This got out of hand. This got violent. And it was all because it wasn't mitigated on the front end. People made this situation worse. And you have families trying to defend themselves. You have cops now coming in with a full head of steam, making things worse, really pushing things because they're not stadium ops people. They're trying to manage this entire situation, which has already crossed through the threshold into a very dangerous public security matter. And so they're going to meet that moment with the type of aggression that you're used to seeing from Miami PD. It was all really bad, really scary, really messy. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like Hard Rock Stadium operations were allowed to do their usual job and had to take a back seat to a whole bunch of bureaucrats that don't know how to operate that stadium. And we saw how it played out with people actually going into AC vents, like Die Hard.
Going into AC vents, people sneaking into the 200 level, which is like the suite level. And at points, they had the doors shut with like something in it, blocking it. And people are like on the glass like, no, I have a ticket to be in there. And they're just like, nope, there's thousands of people out there. We're not letting you in.